Well, you know what else might be dead soon? The iPhone Air.
I hope not.
It will not be dead soon.
Well, history, look, whenever you look at trying to predict the future of tech, one of the most tried and true ways to do that is to look at the past. Did you guys know that?
No.
And did you guys know history repeats itself? Did you know that? Because it kind of does.
If you
really think about
If you really think about it, Apple's been trying to fill this place in their lineup in between the Pro phone and the not Pro phone for a little while.
a long time.
Not even in between. They just try to have another phone in the lineup.
Yeah.
And they had iPhone 12 mini, which everyone except one person on Earth
1 million
got rid of.
tried to use, but then eventually got rid of.
Yeah.
And then they had the 13 mini the next year, which fixed
The battery.
the battery, and that was kind of it. And sales were too anemic for them to continue, and it was gone after 2 generations. Very quickly after, they followed it up with a Plus iPhone. The Plus iPhone also lasted 2 generations, and it was right above the base iPhone. It was just a bigger screen, but none of the other Pro features. But it also died 2 generations in, just didn't sell quite enough. And so now here we are in 2025, and Apple's done this crazy, ultra-thin, future of the iPhone type of thing. Very innovative. We all know it's kind of half of a foldable, but they did the iPhone Air. And it's, once again, very interesting phone. And many people were very excited about it. But now here we are, and headlines are popping up that sales are a little bit lower than Apple's expected, and so they are cutting production to less than 10% of the original volume that they were forecasting
That's
that
so
they'd be
crazy.
producing at. That's a crazy number. 90% lower than what they thought they would be producing, which to me, when I read a headline like this, I went to business school for a couple of years, and I always had a professor that told me that if you give a number without context, I will fail you. That was his thing. He was like, if you tell me that sales are, 10% or whatever, or the price of something is $100, if you don't tell me that the competition is actually $200, or it used to be $100, but now it's $50, like if you don't give me some type of context, I will fail you. And so I see this headline, and it is very spicy. 10% production of what they thought they would need. What were they expecting, and what is the actual number? Because when I see the curves of iPhone Air, if I'm putting on my Tim Cook hat and I'm the logistics guy and the supply chain guy, I feel like iPhone Air would have a pretty big initial spike among enthusiasts willing to spend $1,000 on a futuristic iPhone, and then it would level off and lower over time. And something like the base iPhone would have a low initial spike, but then would have a longer tail as normal people who don't buy on day one find out about it and buy the new iPhone. So if I have that, I'm doing my math thing now. If you have that high initial spike and then lower, and we're still in the first month of the phone coming out, this expected spike up here and the actual amount could be dramatically different, but it could be the same shape, or it could be a different tail, or it could be a totally different expected curve. There's a lot of possibilities that could match this headline of 10% production versus what's expected. That was me rambling. All of that to say,
Well,
are you guys
real quick,
surprised? Yeah.
Just to go on that, it feels like with some other context, maybe that spike isn't that high, because just in a, if you're trying to pre-order an iPhone right now, if you can pre-order an iPhone Air.
Are you going to wear this mask?
It's just that your voice is a little muffled.
Is it muffled?
A little bit.
Yeah, if you put it over.
There we go.
Oh, that does sound better.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're pre-ordering iPhones right now, you can get an iPhone Air shipped immediately. If you pre-order any of the other iPhone 17 lineup, it's a 2 to 3 week wait time.
Whoa.
So
Makes sense.
it
So they
feels like that
underproduced.
spike isn't a big spike off the top. And I mean, I know you said enthusiasts potentially buying it, but it's really hard to think of enthusiasts that would want to buy this over what we're calling the most pro iPhone ever. If I picture an enthusiast being that's what I'm getting. The Air is cool,
Yeah.
but I'm getting this sweet new.
So I think that's always true about the Pro iPhone. You're always going to have a bigger spike at the beginning because that's what enthusiasts are going to get. The Air is interesting because it is more expensive than the base model, and it is worse than the base model. And so you have to be an enthusiast to decide to get that phone, to spend more money and get it because it's thinner and pretty and shiny and stuff.
Well, you don't have to be an enthusiast. You could just really thin, pretty.
I guess
things.
on month one,
Yeah.
I expect the average person to be just getting the base iPhone and not really spending the extra.
Yeah.
And if I'm an enthusiast, I'm getting probably the Pro, but also maybe the Air.
Yeah.
And it's also the Air is like super overrepresented in my like Twitter timeline and on Instagram. And like I feel like everyone who has the Air, I know they have the Air. And
This sounds just like the Mini. Sorry, David, I can barely see you. I promise.
Just like the Mini,
But this is the Mini on Twitter. Everyone's like, no, this is the best thing ever in our space. We love the Mini. Long live the Mini.
That's true.
Sounds exactly like it.
This quote of 10% did kind of blow my mind because anecdotally, I've been seeing a ton of iPhone Airs. And usually I don't see the brand new tech thing everywhere all the time, even with the brand new iPhone. But I've been seeing a lot of iPhone Airs. I've seen at least like 7 or 8 just in my neighborhood.
it's so interesting.
But I live in New York City.
Do you think
So this is a place where people will buy the new expensive thing and also will buy the fashion thing.
Yeah. Do you think this is like, again, like the human brain and like perception. Do you think you're noticing the Air more, even though you're also seeing pros and just not registering it?
I see some pros. That's a real possibility because I've just been
'Cause you
wondering
notice.
consistently. Yeah, I mean, you very much notice. So yeah, it's a possibility, but it's just the fact that I'm seeing them at all within the first month of it coming out is kind of like surprising to me.
Yeah.
I mean, anecdotally, the people that I know that would be buying the Air in my head all got the Pros and the Pro Max.
I've seen so many pros because it's so easy to tell when it's sitting in like a car mount. You just see this bright orange big camera plateau like in your rearview mirror. You can just be like, that guy's got the new Pro.
That's pretty funny.
easy.
Everyone I know that bought the Air is not an enthusiast. Like they bought it because they're like, ooh, pretty. And they universally love it. Like they're in love with their phone.
That is such a, it's the Mini.
It's a different type of enthusiast.
Well, and if you think about it, so like, you know how the whole thing with electric cars is that, oh, you only need this much range, not that much range, because, oh, you'll just charge in your garage and then you'll just go to the grocery store and you'll go live in suburbia. Like, it's all those people that are buying the Air because the battery life is not that big of a deal to them. So they're just more interested in something that's flashy and thin.
Yeah.
You know?
A finally actually new iPhone.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, in supply chain land, like what you said, Andrew, like the iPhone Air is available, and that means they have extra stock, and the other iPhones are not available for maybe a couple weeks, which means they don't have enough stock. In an ideal world, they're all available and have just barely enough stock for the exact correct amount of demand, which is why they make these forecasts and try to supply chain stock stores perfectly. And to me, they just slightly got the ratios off, or maybe more than slightly got the ratios off of what they expected.
I do want to try to run this phone for a little bit. I just don't want to buy it. So I can't, I'm not willing to invest $1,000 just to like mess
thought
around
about that
with
too.
something. Yeah. Yeah. It's not worth it.
It is pretty nice to hold.
It is very nice to hold. Every time I pick someone's up, I'm like, But you wonder how long it's going to last before it wears off.
Do you think the average person going into a store just picking up an iPhone that would potentially buy that would be worried about it breaking because of how thin it is? Do you think that's a concern? Someone who doesn't watch any of the testing, hasn't watched any of our reviews, they're just the typical. And
Not
do you
if the
think that
salespeople are good.
Yeah.
You know,
that's
because
a good
I'm sure
point.
that's part of their training.
That's true.
Like when
A
I used to work
lot
at Best Buy
of things,
Mobile, we would
definitely.
get like paperwork and stuff and like how the talking points on all the phones and stuff, you know?
That's so interesting. Yeah, Apple stores, I know they do a good job of that.
Yeah.
And I bet carrier
train
stores,
them.
Best Buys, things like that also are like very convincing. Oh, just get our insurance. Oh, just, it'll be fine. It's durable.
it's definitely not going to break, and then upsell you on Apple Care immediately after?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is titanium.
Yeah.
Seems pretty strong.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll keep
right.
an eye on it. We'll see if this thing actually changes in trajectory or if it's almost dead. Hey, thanks for watching this video. Obviously, there's lots of new like button animations, and we learned about those this episode, but what we want to learn about for real is your top 3 Halloween candies.
And why it's ooze tube.
You're going trick-or-treating, you pull up to a house, you see a huge tub of candy, you know they have everything, you cross your fingers, you open your eyes, and you're hoping to see blank. Fill in the blank, please.
I like.
We're also curious what our like button does. So hit it.
Boo.